Thank you, Minister, for coming in this morning to respond to my commencement matter, looking for a commencement date, or a date by which a design team will be appointed for the design of a critical care wing at the Rotunda Hospital on Parnell Square. The Rotunda is the world's oldest maternity hospital. It dates from 1745. It delivers more than 8,000 babies a year. 1 in 6 of all babies in the country are born there. 1 in 4 of all premature neonatal babies are born there. And there's been a 10% increase in demand at the hospital over the course of the last year. It's a hugely important health institution for women, for children, for their families, for the North Inner City, but also nationally, I suppose, is the point that I would make. The Rotunda receives approximately 500 gynecological referrals each month, and there is a waiting list of more than 3,000 at the moment. So it is a resource, a health resource to women and children of huge importance. It is also, as I said, though, dating from the 1700s. So they're challenged to deliver 21st century healthcare in 18th century built infrastructure. Antigua itself has done inspections, and this is going back years, indicating that it's out of date, it's old, it's cramped, it's not fit for purpose. In fact, in places it's potentially dangerous. So this issue has been well recognised for a number of years, dating back to 2018. There have been reports done. The most cost-effective, the most beneficial, the most expedient solution is to develop a critical care wing on the west side of Parnell Square. The requirement went out to tender earlier this year. I understand that tender process has been successfully completed. I'm really hoping today you can advise the House on when the design team will be announced. Minister, I suppose before finishing, I want to also just acknowledge we all know that our state has a very poor history in terms of women's health, and that is something that the current Minister, Minister Donnelly, and yourself, Minister Feehan, and everybody in government is really making great strides to change. The state's approach to women's health is changing with the commitment, a commitment that has never been previously made in terms of women's health, the Women's Health Task Force, the commitment to establish menopause clinics, free contraception, fully funded maternity strategy. I commend you, Minister, and the government for those changes, real changes that has been made in the state's approach to women's health. But Minister, we need to do more. We need to continue on the great changes you've already made. And I'm really hoping today you can advise us on when a design team will be announced for the design of a new critical care wing for the Rotunda Hospital. Gurmagad.
Senator. Minister.
I want to thank the Senator for raising this issue and giving me the opportunity to outline to the House the position in relation to the Rotunda Hospital. The National Development Plan 2021 to 2030, launched on the 4th of October 2021, provides a total 5-year allocation to 2025 of $5.657 billion to the Department of Health. This includes funding towards projects provided for in the capital plan, such as the critical care wing at the Rotunda Hospital. It is acknowledged that there is a need to address the highest infrastructural risk and capacity issues at the existing hospital at Parnell Square on a prioritised basis, and there has been engagement between the Department of Health, the HSE and the Rotunda to clarify the scope and extent of the development needed to resolve patient safety risks arising at the hospital from infrastructural issues. Capital funding has been provided to the hospital over recent years to help it to manage its estate, together with appropriate allocations for equipment replacement. And last year, funding was provided to assist with COVID-related emergency works. $5 million has been provided over 2020 to 2021 for redevelopment works to sustain a modern fetal assessment unit and neonatal intensive care unit, together with a new emergency theatre and delivery suite. As required under the Public Spending Code, the hospital has submitted a business case in support of a proposed critical care wing, which is under consideration in the HSE, and it was agreed earlier this year in a meeting between the hospital and the HSE and the RCSI Hospital Group to initiate the process of a design team recruitment to support these necessary interim works pending co-location to Connolly Hospital in Blanchardstown. The evaluation of the recently received design team tender documentation with respect to the new critical care wing has been concluded, and the successful and unsuccessful applicants have been identified and notified following a recent procurement process. And as you know, as normal for a capital project of this scale, approval to formally appoint a design team will be subject to the normal health sector approvals processes in line with the requirements under the Public Spending Code. And in the meantime, there continues to be ongoing and active engagement between the HSC and the Rotunda Hospital, refining key aspects of the project.
Minister, thank you for your reply, and I fully acknowledge and value the commitment that the Government and the Minister has given to the Rotunda, and I want to also acknowledge the significant funding already provided. But I have to say, Minister, I'm disappointed with the reply. It is very disappointing that we are at the end of this year and that a process that commenced at the start of this year, that went out to tender, that has engaged not just the hospital and the HSE and staff within your own department, but also external private companies who have engaged in the tendering process, who've been told they're either successful or unsuccessful. I don't understand the inertia. I don't understand how long it is going to take the health sector approval process. How long is that? Is it a piece of string? It's not. It really isn't any way for the state to conduct its business. Everybody has been under pressure. Every business in this country has been under pressure during COVID. When organisations respond to the state's request to produce a tender, they do so in good faith and they expect to be responded to and advised in a prompt manner. Apart from them, the women of Dublin, the women of our country deserve better, Minister. I would urge you to go back to the Department, of Health and ask them to make a decision on this. They know who the successful tenderers were. They should make a decision. They should make that public, and we need to move on with this without any further delay. Gurmagad.
Senator. Minister.
I would want to thank the Senator for her concerns, and I will bring your concerns to try to make this a decision as quickly as possible. And I understand there continues to be ongoing and active engagement with the Rotunda Hospital, refining key aspects of the project. And as you know, again, all capital development proposals must progress through the number of approval stages in line with the Public Spending Code, including detailed appraisal, planning, design and procurement, before a firm timeline or funding requirement can be established. And approvals must be received for each individual stage to ensure that the proposal delivers value for money and remains affordable, and that sufficient funding is available to fund the project to completion, including equipping and commissioning status. The development of capital projects is a dynamic process, and it's subject to a number of key considerations, including service, prioritisation, clarification of scope, determination of affordability, as well as successful completion of the various capital project approval stages, which can impact on the timeline for delivery. But again, I hear what you've said. I'll bring that back to the Minister and the Department and try to get this progressed as quickly as possible.